All right. Our next review is going to be for the first two episodes of South Park, season 27. Here, South Park, controversial animated show there on Comedy Central. Um, Trey Parker, Matt Stone created show. South Park has t- done kind of the test of time there, pissing off everybody. Uh, Here, far left, far right, everybody in between there. That's what kind of South Park does, and they're doing it again in this latest season. Taking aim seems like at the just all things pop culture, politics, including the Trump administration. There. So the first two episodes of this season were you had "Got a Nut," which was the second episode, and "Sermon of the Mount," there, which was the first episode there. Um, and
And this trailer is all fake footage too. Like none of this is in the show.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I kind of wanted to see the Diddy thing. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, that's not gonna be in the
I
show.
mean, I bet they'll circle and do something with it, even if it's not that exact image. I mean, I feel like there's no way they pass up making some comment on that.
Yeah. But how does South Park? How do they do what they do in this new age? There, Elon Musk said that wokeness killed comedy, but comedy is back now. That's what he declared that. There with Trump.
Until they turn the gun on him.
But hey, he said that comedy's back now, so it's legal. Comedy is legal again. He said. So what happens there in this new age? There, you got Eric Cartman, who's now that wokeness is dead, then who's there to piss off? If everybody's doesn't care anymore and everybody's kind of just defeated, who is there to piss off?
What's his purpose? How's he supposed to live his life?
If you're a troll and there's nobody to troll, are you really even a troll anymore? I mean, yeah, what's kind of the purpose there? Which leads him to a new path there of being the master debater there. You got that. Um, then you also have it where Trump is having a fight there with uh, small town of South Park there, implementing those tariffs and suing them. You got that, and then it seems like also with it they've replaced before they had Saddam Hussein there with Satan, but now they have
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah. It's like they literally made him. It's the same voice, the same kind of animation style, or like kind of cut out thing that they used to do for that in the back in the movie. Which God, that was forever ago that happened. But it's the same like kind of cadence of speech and some of the same like catchphrases even. It's a pretty great callback.
Yeah. Is that kind of lazy, you think, or they have tried to do more of a Trump voice, or do you think?
Honestly, I think it's great because it's what's gonna make him mad.
uh,
I think that's mostly what they're kind of. I mean, I think they're going with is it funny, but also like they picked someone and put up their picture on a dartboard, and I mean they're going after.
so this is him. So people don't know the Saddam Hussein one. They basically just replaced it with Trump. So this is kind of like I said, basically same everything. They just replaced the face of it. So this is how Trump looks here in this.
A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
The people of Canada will not be devalued like this.
Hey, come on. You don't want me to bomb you like I did Iraq.
I thought you just bombed Iran.
Iraq. What the hell's the difference? Relax, guy.
So this is kind of how he looked in the newest season there. And they addressed the fact that because at first it was what's his name, the counselor, or the
Oh,
teacher.
is the teacher Mr. Garrison? Yeah, they've done years of Mr. Garrison kind of being like a very different sort of stand-in character. And I know that at one point they said they felt like they did that because they just don't know if they could satirize, what that was without kind of doing almost a reinterpretation of it as this other character. But obviously they've changed their minds now and then kind of they have a great little skit where the people like show up to his house because they still think he is that person. And he's just like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. So what do you think about these two episodes? So,
I think they're very strong. I personally could deal with maybe slightly less of the full frontal nudity, but I get why they're doing it because it's there to piss someone off. They're doing a good job of that for sure. But maybe I don't need to see all of that, but that'd be probably my one big thing. Otherwise, I mean, I think it's very funny. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think South Park is kind of the great satire of our time, and I think that's maintained true for most of the show's run. Obviously, it didn't quite start as much of the satire as it became, but pretty much ever since they committed to that, I think they've pretty consistently knocked it out of the park.
I was just laughing at. I just looking at
I know.
the there.
But they've really, I think, done a good job of. There's a lot of people on the right that have been very like, oh, you just can't make jokes anymore. But as soon as it gets turned towards them, as soon as the gun's turned on them, they start complaining again, the same way that they've been trying to make fun of other people for complaining. And you're seeing who is really serious about that whole freedom of speech thing, because you're getting a lot of them just turning on a dime and kind of sounding like they're coming from the complete opposite side of how they have been.
And not only just Trump as well, but you got Christy Nome is there as well.
Yeah, that
Who's
might
the
have been the most brutal takedown so far, honestly.
And she responded to it. She called it petty there. So and also lazy. She described her description her on South Park there. Calls her portrayal lazy. So they have her where she's the department she's the head of the Department of Homeland Security, Christy Nome.
Mhm.
And people also mock her because the fact she killed a dog. And they do a
She
lot of
killed her. She killed her own family's dog.
killed her own. I don't exactly know why she killed her own family dog exactly. Um,
It's been a little while. It's been a couple of years since that happened, if I'm remembering right. But it was, I believe she did it, and then the excuse that she gave seemed, I just remember it sounding very fake, very like, I'm just saying what I need to say to try and sweep this under the rug. And it really just created more questions than answers when she responded to it. So, I mean, I would have dug in at her about the exact same thing.
And there's a funny bit in here where she shoots Crypto, Crypto the super dog, in it, which is kind of a good bit here, in it there. And then also they do this thing where her face keeps falling off because I guess clearly she's had plastic surgery, and then she has to have like a makeup team to come in and like fix her up every
But
time.
every time they come out, it sounds like a pit crew from like a NASCAR race.
Oh yeah, which is a good kind of
The
effect.
sound effect is maybe my favorite part of it.
So they kind of fix her up there with that, which is that's a good bit there. They do. They also do JD Vance in here as well, where they show like a Fantasy Island type sequence.
He's
Uh,
like tattoo.
he's tattooed from Fantasy Island. Let me see if I can show that. I was trying to find the crypto one, but I couldn't find the crypto one there. But yeah, he's there, and they actually have it where he's like the meme version of JD Vance. Like there's this meme going around with him where he's like he looks like a baby. Like a, like a kind of a giant
They
baby.
kind of puff out his cheeks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is him right here, where you got it kind of going on. They even have the rest of the little tattoo there. That's like old school. Like I mean, most kids probably don't know Fantasy Island anymore, but yeah,
Oh yeah, I would be shocked if any of them did.
yeah. But it seems like I mean,
Hey, this could cause a fantasy island resurgence in pop culture. Maybe I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they've like just made a weird reference and it's kind of dragged something back into the zeitgeist.
well, they did. I remember they did that movie with Michael Pena, like a Fantasy Island movie. That was
Did
terrible.
they?
It was
I don't
about
even know
Funhouse.
if I saw that.
Yeah, not a lot of people saw it. Yeah,
I feel like I haven't even heard of it.
yeah. Not a lot of people did there. But he responded to it. Seems like JD Vance was maybe in good spirits about it. Said that he said we finally made it. He said in response to it. So with him being spoofed there, he wrote that on X about his appearance there on South Park. You think that's kind of coping seething, or you think?
I mean, it's possible he really thought it was funny. It's hard to say. I mean, they're gonna keep doing it though. and I wonder if even if he thinks it's genuinely funny and did have like a good reaction to it this time, I wonder, when once we've gotten to the fifth or sixth time they've just gone after him, is he still gonna think that?
Yeah. And then also you have Eric Cartman, who became like a Charlie Kirk figure there in the show, and then you see Charlie
Mhm.
Kirk, who even changed
I'd
his.
like to point out that he had like a, oh, I think this is funny sort of reaction. But in that video, which I did see, he edits out the part where Cartman says that he edits out like parts of the videos. So even it was like, oh yeah, no, this I thought this was funny. They really got me. Ha ha. He's editing and cutting parts out that make even in that make would make him worse. So it's really proving their point, I think, in a good way.
And so he changed his profile picture here on X into like the actual Eric Cartman profile, to like Eric Cartman. Um,
I mean, it's should also be a kind of a red flag if somebody's identifying with like a murderer who feeds people to other people.
oh, that was a classic
Not the
episode.
greatest thing to.
And I think we talked about it before, was it when we talked about it with Fight Club, or we talked about it a little bit when we
Mhm.
mentioned Starship Troopers before? Of do kind of these type of people, do they not care about that they're being made fun of, or do they not care about that they're the butt of the joke, or it's like making fun of their beliefs, or is that kind of a thing there? I mean, we mentioned that before. Do you think that's just it's just not possible to do that, or
Well, I mean, I say it there. It's either a certain amount of obliviousness and not getting the joke, or it's getting it and just being like it's still accurate and not caring for that reason. Which either way, I mean, yikes.
Mm, yeah, I know. I mean, I think sometimes, I mean, you've seen also like as much as you've seen some of these people have a positive reaction to it. You're also seeing a negative. Like you've seen some people who cheered when South Park went after Hillary, and they went after
Mhm.
Biden, and they went after Obama. Even they even some people I saw brought up like, when have they ever made fun of any of those people? It's like people brought up numerous
All the
examples
time.
when they made fun of all those people before. So you see some of that reaction too of like South Park is, oh, it's gone woke, and oh, they're making fun of Trump
For
now.
years, people were saying that. Well,
Uh,
for years, people were saying the opposite too, right? Like, I mean, I 100% saw people on like more on the political left who, I mean, in real life, I've had interactions with people who on the political left who are like, "Oh, you like South Park? That's a red flag." It just like you've had that kind of coming from both ends of the spectrum with this show over time. Rewind the clock even more to the George Bush administration, and it was like all kind of left supporting, and the right hated that show. I mean, it was the 1 Million Moms and every like right wing kind of Christian organization during George Bush hated the show and wanted it taken off the air. And then they act like they think it's great if they see it maybe messing with the other side or poking the other side a bit for a little while, and then they change their opinion again. I mean, it's just kind of, and the show I think's always done this, but the show is always approached this kind of 360. We're going to make fun of everybody a little bit. We're going to go after certain people more than others, depending on the day or the year or whatever. But they've always been like nobody's really off limits. It's kind of been a big fundamental reason for the show's success, and you can tell what people really don't have a sense of humor based on if they're changing their mind depending on the episode of whether they actually think this is funny or not.
mm, yeah. And I mean, with it, um, yeah, I mean, like I said, they've gone after everybody. I mean, from all the political spectrum there with South Park, it's kind of what South Park does. This is the first time
There
I've
were
watched.
actual Middle Eastern terrorists threatening to kill them. Like they had bodyguards from the government at one point because they tried to show the Prophet Muhammad in the show. So like there's not a third rail these guys won't touch.
Mm. And I think also it's also good that they're doing this because it's so easy, especially when the person you're doing it, it's so easy to get a reaction because
Sure.
people, Trump, everybody, they always will react to anything. They'll react to anybody. I mean, no matter big, small, they'll react to anybody anytime there's anything about them, and they'll comment on any pop culture thing. So that also fuels it as well. Like, oh, we can get just that instant reaction there with it. And the way the South Park does its episodes
Mhm.
is the speed in which they make them. They can just hurry up and respond to it quickly there when it comes to that pop culture stuff. There, that's also a good thing. Like I mentioned, like you said, everybody's responded to it. Trump responded to it, and I think they asked the question to what the press secretary too. They didn't about the
I
response
think
or
so, yeah.
and then I think she said that it was irrelevant. South Park was irrelevant. Uh,
Well, that's cope.
and then you had it where because in the second episode you have it where Mr. Mackey joins Ice, and then Ice changed the profile. They also did the same thing where they actually, or they didn't change their profile picture. Maybe they just tweeted out like that South Park episode of the Ice people in it, and
So
then
it's not relevant, but you're talking about it.
yeah,
Sort
and
of like.
then uh, South Park responded, I think, with a tweet going like, "Oh, so we are relevant." There, they actually
Right.
responded to it, which is a thing there. And then also, I don't know if you've been following or keeping up with kind of been going on with as far as Paramount and this merger happening.
Some of it.
And then I know Stephen Colbert recently got canceled. Some people speculate highly that he got canceled because he was going after Trump so much that they canceled him. And then because
There's definitely some of that in there, and definitely some suggestion. I've also seen them say that his show was losing like 40 million a year. So I mean, that also seems like it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's impossible to know exactly what's going on without being in the room and hearing these money men kind of have the conversation. But I think both of those are elements for sure.
yeah, so they say like Trump, if the merger, he was probably going to block the merger potentially if Stephen Colbert had still been there, and then so maybe that was the reason they canceled it. And then I think they have some guy who's going to come on as the new head of Paramount, who's like the son of somebody who wants to do quote unquote, more not biased Trump coverage there of it. I'll try to pull up that guy's name there, but that seems like an extra motivation for South Park to go after them because it's like, are you gonna cancel us? Especially given how
Right.
successful South Park has been for Paramount for a
Well,
long.
then they gave him a $1 billion+ contract, like basically right when the new season was about to start. So I mean, they can't really do anything. And to be honest, recently South Park is not the show I've seen fuck with Paramount the hardest.
We say, I'm sorry.
South Park is not the show that I recently have seen just poke Paramount with a stick the hardest either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So, and then they did that. They make fun of it also in with the Jesus when Jesus kind of comes in and they talk
Which
about
is was used to be a huge recurring character in the early seasons of the show.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull up that clip. That's a funny clip too. There where you have Jesus kind of because he's supposed to quell the South Park town and like kind of what's going on. Uh, let me see if oh yeah, here's it right here, which is pretty good. Uh, let's see.
No, just eat the bread and listen. I didn't want to come back and be in the school, but I had to because it was part of a lawsuit and the agreement with Paramount.
President's suing you?
The guy can do whatever he wants now that someone back down, okay? Eat the bread, eat the bread. You know what happened to CBS? Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount. You really want to end up like Colbert? You guys gotta stop being stupid.
We can't stand you.
Just shut up or we're going to get canceled, you idiots.
uh, so yeah, that's kind of a great moment there. With that.
The very end of that first episode is also very much a meta joke too, where he they're sitting and trying to kill themselves in the electric car, but there is no exhaust.
Mm, yeah.
And the last line of the episode is him saying, "Well, here we go. I love you, buddy." Like it is like a just in case goodbye sort of statement, which I thought was pretty funny.
Mm, yeah. Do you think there's any like what's the chances that South Park would get canceled?
I think none. I really I really don't think they can even at this point. And part of it's been grandfathered in over time. If it was a new show doing it, it might be a different story. They've been around so long, and they have angered so many people, and have so many people have gone after them. Again, I mean, like real terrorists were threatening to come and kill them at one point in time. And I could be wrong, but I don't think that they'll ever have as big of a reaction as that, and the show survived that. So
Yeah. I mean, the show survived Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise just get it out. I mean, the power of Scientology couldn't even stop.
well, they mixed all that together too, and that's how one of the big Tom Cruise episodes was the Prophet Muhammad episode, which is one of the there's like 5 episodes you cannot watch anywhere. They're like straight up got pulled from syndication. That's one of them.
Yeah. So David Ellison is the guy now that's kind
Mm.
of heading it up now there. Uh, and then apparently, I know there's some reports that there's like a side deal there that happened with that allowed the merger to happen. So then that's going to create more. Maybe they're not going to go as they're going to have people who do go hard on Trump. Maybe fire them, get rid of them. Um, so there's some kind of reports there on that. So that's an
I what I'm wondering is, I mean, obviously that South Park is like the big kind of linchpin in that conversation right now, but uh, I don't know how aware you are of Nathan Fielder's show, The Rehearsal, but he went after Paramount and like made them look bad on the level that I don't even think South Park has managed to do with its new season.
Wow. Okay. So I've heard of the show. I've heard a lot. I hear he's a funny guy. So what does he do in like that show?
It's a very bizarre show. Uh, the Rehearsal is, I mean, he's almost like a comic book villain where he is trying to like recreate like synthetic versions of human experiences on such an extreme level. The idea is like rehearsing for like a real experience to such a degree that you can basically not be surprised by like the actual moment. But within the second season of the show, he he finds out that an episode of his older show, Nathan for You, which was a little less crazy. This show is like full like Charlie Kaufman insanity. But he had a show that where he was making fun of Nazis got pulled from Paramount Plus, uh, and he was like, "Okay, are you pulling it like you think making fun of Nazis is bad or what?" So he does this whole thing in the second season of The Rehearsal where he basically puts like Paramount banners in a room and like to make Paramount look like the Nazi flag, like the Paramount symbol. He does like World War II like battle maps of Paramount taking over country. I mean, like he really goes hard making Paramount look like the SS. And I don't know if I've seen anybody go so far at a company like that before. It was kind of mind blowing. South Park honestly has a bar to hit with that.
Hmm. Yeah, so this is the show right here, the rehearsal. I hear it's good. I hear he's really good there.
It's very good. It's also very weird, and there's like nothing else that you're gonna see like it.
Hmm. Okay. Is it kind of like what Tim Robinson does?
Weirder.
Wow. Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie Synecdoche, New York, with
Yes.
Philip Seymour Hoffman? It's that. It's like somebody actually started doing that, but like really in reality.
Hmm. Okay. Very cool. So, out of these two episodes, which one do you like the best? Do you like both of them the same? Or?
I think the second one might have had more just laugh out loud moments. The whole thing with her face falling on the ground and crawling away like an alien monster, that really got me. All of the stuff with the dog, because again, I would have gone after her for the exact same thing if I was either of them. I'd say two was maybe my favorite of them, but I mean, that's not to say the other one wasn't great as well. I mean, I think these guys are very consistent. There's been episodes of South Park maybe over the years that haven't always hit. I don't think there's ever been like a whole season that hasn't hit, or there's ever been like a whole season that's dropped off in quality. Maybe occasional episodes, but I think they're really on top of their game as good as they've ever been. And there's like nobody's been able to do that and keep it up for so long other than them.
Yeah, damn. This was a wicked photo. They got her face next to the slime. This was a wicked photo.
And
Uh,
the way that the camera, well, not the camera, but the way just the shots cut away from seeing what's underneath when the face comes off, I think keeps like an air of horrifying to it that I love. I think that's so clever.
yeah, yeah. The second episode, I think it has a little bit more kind of going on. Just with Mackie, and then it's just funny seeing him like try to be an ICE agent. That's just funny.
I don't know about this. He's so nervous. He said doesn't want to be there, but I mean, and the heaven raid is also that's probably one of my favorite scenes they've done in years. That was really funny.
Man. So this is and then that's the episode. Also, they go to Mar-a-Lago, and it's like the Fantasy Island bit, which is a good one. And so there's a lot of good bits in that second one. And I haven't seen South Park. I mean, not because I had any issue with it. I just dropped off of it probably when COVID, right around when COVID happened. And I just
Okay, so to be honest, they haven't made that much since then. So there's really probably only been a season or two, and there's been some like specials, some like kind of standalone like streaming specials, but there hasn't been like a ton of seasons of the show since the pandemic. Because they've
mm,
also been, the Casa Bonita restaurant that they go
yeah.
to for the birthday, and that's a real restaurant, and they bought it, and they've been like pouring millions of dollars into running that in the last few years. So that's also why there's not been a season in like 2 or 3 years until this one.
Oh, there's a real. I didn't know there's a real Casa Bonita.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's based on a real restaurant in Colorado. I think most people watch the show. I didn't think it was a real place either. I think most people didn't because it seems so kind of fantastical. I mean, the waterfall and there's like cave spelunking and all this stuff, but it's a real place that I think they went to like way before the show started, even like way like in the 80s or early 90s or something. And I think it closed during COVID, and they were like, all right, well, we haven't ran a restaurant yet. So like that's a new type of business. So let's just do that. Let's just get into that. And it sounds like it's pretty successful. I mean, not only because of course it's referenced in the show, but now that they run it, turned it into like a just absolute hotspot for tourism.
Wow. Okay. So they got that going on. Yeah. So I think, and they're only doing these seasons typically now are only what, like 8 episodes now?
Yeah, it's I think only 8. So it'll take a little longer than most shows to air, just because there's like 2 whole weeks between an episode. But it's still not actually that much overall material. Which again, with a lot of these shows, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is in the exact same spot right now. 8 episodes, that's fine because that's what you guys have ideas for. Don't force yourself to fulfill these like long episode counts just because it's what like the network slot demands. I like that they're allowed to do these small seasons because then they're putting their all into what they are making.
Mm, nice. Did you want to give a rating for these 2 episodes, or you want to just wait?
I mean, I think they're total peak. I think the show generally is hitting that level. But yeah, I mean, I think they're great. I don't think they've missed a beat.
Mm, okay. Yeah. It was funny. It was nice going back watching South Park there. Watching these kind of watching them return. Again, it helps when you just got endless material, and then you got people who just respond to everything, so it's easy to kind of build material off of that as well, which also works. So yeah, I'll wait till the season's done. I mean, 8 episodes. Yeah, might as well just wait till it's all done. I think given how long the gaps are between these things. But
Yeah.
yeah, well, thank you. I guess to President Trump, he brought back comedy. He made comedy legal. Thank you to him.
I don't
So
know
yeah.
how happy he is about that, but
Yeah. So our thoughts, South Park season 27.